All right, today we're going to jump into a really cool financial what-if. It's a story all about vision, a whole lot of patience, and yeah, the company that totally changed the way we watch, well, everything. So, let's play a game. I want you to picture this. It's 2005. You've got a spare $1,000 lying around. What do you do with it? You decide, you know what, I'm going to put it all into one company. But here's the twist. What if that company wasn't some hot new tech thing? What if it was a service that literally mailed you little plastic discs in red envelopes? I mean, it sounds almost ancient now, doesn't it? Kind of like investing in horse-drawn buggies right before the car came out. But believe it or not, that is exactly where this story starts. Okay, so let's set the scene. Time to go back. This is part one of our little journey, the starting line. This is where it all kicked off for Netflix and for our hypothetical $1,000. It's almost hard to even remember this, but back then, there was no such thing as binge watching. Netflix and chill literally meant waiting around for that famous red envelope to show up in your actual mailbox. That was it. That was the entire business. And into this DVD business, we make our bet. $1,000. That's our starting pot. It's the hero of our story, just sitting there, waiting to see what happens. Now this is what's really wild, the share price. A single share of Netflix stock cost just $10. It felt so accessible, you know? Almost like a small, fun gamble on a company that mailed movies. So the math here is super simple, but the result is huge. Your $1,000 at $10 a share gets you 100 shares. That's our stake in the ground. You are officially a part owner of the king of DVD by mail. Okay, now for the really hard part. You wait. For 17 years, that investment just sits there. So let's get into what happened during that long, quiet, but as you'll see, totally game-changing period of growth. So we start in 2005 with our 100 shares. And in all the years that followed, the world completely changed. The internet got way faster, streaming went from this weird niche idea to, well, how we all watch TV now. And Netflix, they pivoted their whole business. So the big question is, what happened to our shares? Well, the answer is this. An absolutely mind-blowing 4,000% growth. And no, that is not a typo. That's what happens when a company doesn't just survive a massive tech revolution, but actually leads it. They went from a mailing company to a global media giant. And that brings us to the climax of our story. We've set the scene. We've done the 17-year wait. We've seen the incredible growth. Now, it's time for the payoff. From that initial $1,000 investment, those 100 shares would be worth $480,000 today. Just, wow. Let that number sink in for a second. Seeing it side by side like this really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? The difference is just staggering. A $1,000 bet on a DVD company turns into almost $500,000. That is the incredible power of growth over time. So what does a number like that even mean in the real world? It's not just a number on a screen. We're talking about enough to buy a beautiful house, a mansion in some places, or a whole fleet of new cars. It is a life-changing amount of money. Which, of course, brings us to our conclusion. So what is the big lesson here? What's the moral of this insane story? It's really just a powerful lesson in what happens when you combine growth with time. Especially when that growth is fueled by a company brave enough to completely reinvent itself. And for the record, this whole thought experiment comes to us from the folks over at Wealth Pulse. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question. You know, this isn't just a story about getting lucky and picking the right stock. It's an incredible example of long-term vision and the power of investing in companies willing to shake up not just their industry, but themselves. So as we look ahead, you have to wonder, what story will the next 17 years tell? Thanks for joining us.